Anjana here. The findings of a study conducted recently shows that our young professionals lack three key skills which are crucial for career growth. The study was conducted in both big and small cities in India. It was conducted by Skills for Life. It is a research and training firm. Today I am in conversation with Ms. Anuradha Raman, who is the co-founder of Skills for Life. She is joining me from Singapore. Welcome to Pep Talk. Anuradha, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Anjana. I'm really happy to discuss about our organization and the work that we are doing. Thank you for having us.
Sure. So, as we spoke, you were saying that you conducted a research on the skills of young professionals and small and big organizations across India. So, your finding is that there are three key soft skills that are missing. So, can you take me through the process? Like, how did you select the organizations? Was it a random pick or it was restricted to any specific area?
What we did was we conducted a survey of small, big, and medium organizations across India. And it was a random pick because we sent across our forms to different organizations. We selected from manufacturing to IT, even NGOs and tourism. To each and every sector, we decided to share our form. And many of them, so that's why we have, and we did not want to restrict it to one particular sector, because when we are looking at young professionals, we cannot just say we are looking at training only a particular set of people who are joining a particular organization or particular sector. We want to train young professionals across India and surely across the globe, because we realized that before we started the research, we ourselves had realized that when these young professionals, after they pass college, and even our own experience has been that we have the technical skills, but what is required that when you join an organization, these technical skills will only help you to a certain level. But when you have to work with different people, you have to work and interact with different people, customers, your colleagues, your boss, you require a set of soft skills. And with time, we have realized that the hand-holding in many organizations has increased, where even selecting candidates on soft skills has been a priority for many HR organizations recently, where in IT industry we have seen that around 98% of HR recruiters are selecting on the basis of soft skills and not just technical skills alone. So many of the candidates who are rejected are not rejected because they lack technical skills, but because they lack soft skills. So when we looked at not just IT, we decided to look, is it overall picture around India? And we realized that it's really sad that it has been that soft skills is in the recent trend, it's definitely lacking. And when we asked different organizations what were the different soft skills, and each in different, like manufacturing, the requirement of soft skill is different. Which kind of soft skill is different? Then NGO, for that might be required for an NGO, or what might be required for an IT sector. But it was very shocking that when we realized that three strategic soft skills, that is communication, interpersonal communication, strategic thinking, and time management were across the board common, which were missing in almost all the sectors.
All right, as you've said that the basic degree or qualification would only take you to the office or your workspace. Further growth, yes, you have to have these soft skills. So let me ask you, your finding is that the three key soft skills are lacking. The professionals are lacking the main three soft skills. So how is this lack of these skills affecting their career?
These three soft skills which are lacking, that is communication, strategic thinking, and time management. So when a young professional, when they join college, after they leave the college and they join an organization, they have to interact with people who are of different age groups. Their colleagues might be the same generation, but their seniors, their supervisors, the bosses, they are all of an older generation. And maybe in manufacturing sector, one of the findings that we had was, when a junior engineer joins a manufacturing company, The person who is the operator of a machine, he might not, he's just a worker, but he has to go and tell, the junior officer has to go and tell the operator every day to start the machine, and the operator, who's a 50-year-old person, would refuse. And how would you go about, because he would say you are a new, so how would you go about interacting with such different age groups? So that's why and that's what happens, is that because of this, your productivity is affected, your performance assessment, which is done by your boss, even your colleagues overall, when your reviews are done, so all these things are affected. If your performance review is affected, that means you won't get your promotion, you won't get and you might be in your dream job, but it has become a hell for you, because if you don't see any increment in your career, you don't see increment in your pay, and if the colleagues and all, they don't give you the respect that you think you deserve, then there'll be mental stress, there'll be you might get sleepless nights, you'll always be stressed going to work, because you'll have to think, I have to deal with the operator every day in the morning. So the dream job will become a hell. The second is critical thinking. Like I said, strategic thinking is basically critical thinking, your problem solving and analytical ability. So when you're in an organization, when you're faced with, suppose, dealing with a broken down machine or a broken down computer, or suppose like we had in few days back, the entire Facebook, or so was down, there was an outage, there must have been so many junior level engineers who must be working there in software, and they do not know how to deal with it. And even if you're now with COVID, we have seen that suddenly when things became at home, many did not know how to deal with handling the job when you are at home. How would we work on it? How would we do the simple tasks that we used to be there, where the manager would help us? We wouldn't be able to do it without our manager's hand holding. So if there is a problem, like there's an example I'll give, is that what we have realized is 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. But when you're working, if you have to think, 4 minus 2 is also equal to 2. So you need to have thinking in both. You cannot just think that, oh, only 2 plus 2 is 4. That's how I will do my work. You need to sometimes go backwards and try to solve the problem. Why is it happen? Why is the machine not working? Why was there a breakdown? So this is a problem with strategic thinking. When you're taught in technical schools, you're always taught this is how you need to approach the problem and this is how it is solved. But in real life, you have to look at it from multiple angles. You have to think out of the box. So this is another problem where you will face, which will, again, it will affect your performance assessment. It will affect your overall growth in the organization. The third is time management. Time management is, of course, when you're a young professional, getting up early in the morning and going to work is difficult. You will get up, you might be partying on weekends, and Monday mornings going to work, it might be tough for you will be late. The other is you might not give your project reports on time, and all these again so overall the lack of these 3 skills has effect on your performance assessment, your career growth, and all this will cause stress and depression. So again, you will again be taking day offs, you will not feel like going to work, you'll start searching for another for work. And with crisis, where there's a job crisis going on, you might not get work anywhere, which might again cause more anxiety.
Sure. Okay. Anuradha, you are a soft skill trainer. So if we take these skills, which we say is the young professionals are lacking, let me just talk about this interpersonal communication. You said that, yes, we need to communicate, we need to have this, but we have a problem here. Okay. If our young professional doesn't have the skill, as a trainer, how would you suggest a solution? What would be a solution? How can they improve?
Having interpersonal skill, most of these skills we learn through experience, our own experience. But as a trainer, every time you cannot experience interpersonal skills. Our own personal biases, our own upbringing has made us what we are. We deal with people the way we are being brought up, by not just by our parents, but also by our circumstances. Maybe our parents were very introverted people, so maybe you might not have had a very good social circle while growing up. Maybe yourself, you are an introvert, and that's why dealing or interacting with people, maybe reading books was your cup of tea, but now you have to go and interact with people might be different. So one of the ways is that you sit and for interpersonal communication is you sit and you analyze what is your where is it that you're exactly lacking, and sitting in front of sitting in front of the camera, or in the front of a camera, record yourself. How's your body language when you interact? Do you sit like this, or do you sit face to face and talk with people? How is it that you communicate? Learning verbal and non-verbal cues is very important when you're learning interpersonal skills. The other is, this will break your first barrier. The other barrier that comes is, you need to treat people with respect. If you have a overall attitude where you feel that I'm dealing with someone, I am a person who is maybe my engineer, or many young professionals, especially not just engineers but overall young professionals, we all have a bit of that. We have achieved so much in our technical education. Now that we have graduated or post graduated, this is what I am. And then when you go to offices and you deal with different people from different, you might not be respectful to them. You might not talk to them as if they are wise. You might feel that you
All
have
right.
all wisdom.
So you have to drop that elitist feeling. Right. That's the first thing. Yes.
And so that's how you communicate to them at human level. You treat people with respect, whether, like I said, whether it could be an operator or whether he's your boss. You need to treat everyone with respect and be aware of your verbal and non-verbal cues. What is the body language you are speaking? How is the tone of your voice? These all things you need to take. I would suggest is take a camera, record yourself and see how you behave, and then do an analysis, do a self-introspection, and then you can this is one of the most efficient ways I have realized, is that helps people to break down the barriers and get better at interpersonal communication.
All right. These things cannot be achieved overnight, but sure, when we take these small steps, yes, ultimately, yes, we can. Sure. Now we were talking about strategic thinking. So, why is it an important skill? Like, how is the lack of it affecting someone in his profession?
So strategic thinking, like I said, is basically your analytical thinking, your problem solving thinking, and your critical thinking. What happens that if you are in a crisis or if anything happens? Well, it is very important, like in your work, you'll be dealing with different crises or different problems throughout, whether it is giving in last minute there is an assignment given to you, or there's a breakdown in machine, or there's suppose you're an event manager and you're managing an event. Suppose one of the things are not working. How would you deal with it? So one of the simplest ways of achieving, to be a strategic thinker is the 5 W's and H of, we all must be knowing the fish diagram, which is the 5 W's and H. That is who, what, when, where, and when. And the H is how and how much. So if you are, suppose, which I feel is that, suppose there is a breakdown. Let us take an example of there's a breakdown in machine. So who was responsible? What happened that caused the breakdown? When did it happen? Did it happen early in the morning, or was it in the middle of the production, or was it after the production did the machine collapse? When did it happen? That is, like I said, when. What caused it to break down? Did the machine overheat? Did that cause a breakdown? And where did it happen? It could be in the machine itself. There are so many parts and parcels, so you need to understand where did it happen, and how did it happen? Was it because some of the things, which are the factors that caused it, and how much is the expense that will take to again recover back what has happened? So these 5 W's and H will help you to come up with to be a more strategical thinker. It will help you to analyze what is the problem, how did it start, and maybe to come up with a solution and make sure that it doesn't happen again. And by inculcating this habit of 5 W's and H in each of your communication, in each of your strategical thinking, how you interact with maybe different people or different circumstances, it will help you to become a strategical thinking with practice. Everything only happens with practice.
Exactly. That is what I was thinking. See, these things cannot happen. These things would happen only with experience. Yes, you can master it Only after having
Soft skills
enough
are skills which are
experience.
not like it takes years. Like we are what we are today is because of years of our upbringing and years of our experience. We don't even know why we behave in a certain manner till it is pointed out to us. And maybe I think in a way I feel that in professional career, maybe the person, because you are monitored so well, if the boss comes out and says or your colleagues point it out to you, I think it is not to be taken to the heart, but take it to your mind and say, oh, you know what, this is a problem. If I overcome it through practice every day, if I practice this, then I'm surely going to succeed in my career.
Yes, in a professional, yes, in a work environment, definitely there is going to be repercussions for whatever it is. So you have to improve, right? You have to take an effort to improve. Okay, coming to time management. See, we know that importance of time management, everybody knows. Okay, so the question is how to practice it to be suitable in a work environment. Like, what would you suggest? If someone is not good at keeping his time, so being punctual, so how can he begin to bring out this change?
One of the most effective things that we all have in our pockets right now is a phone, mobile phone, which has something called as an alarm, and it has something called as a calendar and a reminder. But most of us do not use these productivity tools. If you have to wake up in the morning, even if it's snooze, so make up in your mind. If we have to go and watch a movie or in a theater and it's in the morning 7 o'clock show, we will be awake all night and we'll be eager to catch the first day first show. I hope many people remember that first day first show in the morning, people would go and stand in queues for such famous movies, and people do that. And the best way is that we set up a reminder not only in the alarm clock in our phones but also in our mind. So that if you do not take your time management seriously, that means what the companies see is that you are not respectful of the company's time as well as your time. And this is why it is very important to have time management skills. The other way is like in an office environment, when you have multiple responsibilities with you, what you should do is, if you're given a project report, you need to break it down into the chunks that you need to achieve, and how much of that project you need to do submit at what particular time. So if you are given for a project report, suppose you have said that by 4 o'clock today afternoon I need this report, so you need to break out what are the different things that is required in the project report, and for that, if I have to get information, how much time will it take, and in that you break out the activities and give separate time to those activities. In your daily work as well, when you have different meetings, you have to travel, so you need to know that, okay, morning when I leave and I reach the office at 9 o'clock, the first thing I have to do is spend 15 minutes in going through the email. After that 15 minutes, I need to work on this particular project which I have to submit to my boss, which is a priority. After that, I have to again go for a meeting for which I have to prepare. So you have to break for each and every activity. You need to break it down into sub activities and goals, smart goals. So it needs to be measurable, it needs to be acted upon, and it needs to be time tracked. So you need to know that how do I maintain these goals, how do I achieve them on a daily basis. So keep a track of all this, and only then you will be able to optimize your time. Now time is only
to prioritize, right?
Pardon?
We need to prioritize.
We need to prioritize our time. So you need to know which is the activity which is of most priority, which needs to be done, and how much time will it take. You need to even be aware of that, and only then you'll be able to achieve it. It is tough, so it's always about, like I would say, quality over quantity. So if you feel that if I'm not able to give that amount of quality for that project in a very limited time, you need to even convey it to your boss. So suppose they say by 4 o'clock I need this particular thing to be done. You need to say for the amount of quality. Suppose it could be posting an ad online. If your designer says I cannot make an ad which will be very attractive by 4 o'clock, I need some more time. So maybe you and your boss might come up with a solution which will be more, they might say, okay, can you make it 4:15 or 4:30? and you need to say it might not be perfect, but at least I will give my 100%, and at least make it 100% good effort. It might not be the quality that I want, but it is the quality my boss is happy with.
Yes, again, you will have to use your communication skill. You
Yes.
have to persuade your boss, right?
So that's how you know that there are these are the three important skills. And again, strategic thinking, coming up with out of the box thinking. If you are in constraint of time, that is when you will come up with unique ideas of how to get things done. If you have lot of time, you will always be more relaxed and you will just do things the way you're doing. It is only when you're constraint of time that you will always come up with unique ideas on how to get things done faster, how to get, you come to know, oh, if I delegate this particular part to someone else, they are good at it, maybe that will help. So again, personal communication, delegating, strategic thinking. So these are the key three soft skills that you would require in an organization.
Anuradha, I should ask you, like, time management, it never limits to work environment. At home also, personal life also, we need to know. So what would be your suggestions? How can we have this enough time for all the works to be done? Otherwise, by end of the day, you're burned out and then you have a pile of work not done. So suggest me.
I have a very fixed schedule. I believe in scheduling everything. So when I get up in the morning, I have been following a schedule even at times when I was unemployed. I always have a schedule because that is what I believe has got me up in the morning and kept me on going on. Scheduling and prioritizing are two very important techniques. And not just time management. I would say that you can use communication and strategic thinking in your everyday life as well. So suppose you have to if you have to plan for a holiday, or if you have to plan even which school your child is going to, you need to think, oh, which are the different schools. If my child is in this, suppose 7 years, I have to plan out for the primary school. So do they have till 6th standard? Do they have till 10th standard? What is the fees? How much do I have to pay? How do I save? Again, so this is
That's a lot of
five
planning,
Ws.
yeah.
5 Ws. When do I send them? When do I apply for that? If I have to apply in January, do I have the savings? So how much money do I have to save? So the 5 Ws and H. And again, I have to get my child to good school, or if I have to go on holiday, I need to have a very good rapport with the principal. And if I have to go on a holiday, I need to find a good travel agent. I need to find plan with my family. I have to convince my husband to, okay, let's go on a holiday, and this is the budget that I'm thinking. So
all right. So what I understood, it is not just for young professionals, but yes, we all need the skill of communication, strategy thinking, time management. Thank you so much, Anuradha. It was a very wonderful chat.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
for
for
your
having
time.
me, and really, I hope I have added value to these young
Sure.
professionals and every.
It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep watching Pep Talk.